MLB Pipeline has dropped their top 100 prospects for the 2023 season, and you know I gotta take a look at it and give you my opinion. I've become a bit of a prospect guy over the last few years. MLB Pipeline is a really good way to get into it, so let's go ahead and take a look at this list. So getting us started, Dylan Lesko, first round pick from the Padres, could have been the #1 overall pick if he didn't get Tommy John surgery. I believe he's top 100, so I agree with that. Joey Ortiz, I legitimately have never heard or seen this guy, so I guess maybe I'm not that much into prospects, but Joey Ortiz is a name I'm not familiar with. Looks like he performed pretty well. What was this, a AA and low A? Oh, okay, it was a AA and AAA, performed pretty well, and from what they're saying, he'll be able to handle shortstop. Legitimately haven't heard of Joey Ortiz, apologies, but okay, I can get behind it. When you're towards the back end of the top 100, you're starting to talk about guys that you personally believe in. There is no real right or wrong answer when you're talking about the 99th best prospect in baseball. Also, probably makes sense now as to why the Orioles were so willing to trade Darnell Arnaiz, or whatever his name is, for Cole Irvin. Bryce Miller at 98, good pitcher for the Mariners. They're building a little pitching factory out there. DL Hall's a name you might be familiar with. He's going to be at the major league level this year. If he can stay healthy, he has some really good stuff. High ceiling, low floor. Alex Ramirez at 96. Love to see this as a Mets fan, as you can tell by the big poster in the back. I think he has some of the more interesting tools in the top 100 prospects. He has the ability to be a 5-tool player. Just need to see him play a little bit more. He's only 20 years old. Spent most of the year, I think, if not all the year last year, at low A? No, he got a little bit of time with high A. Okay. He's performed really well, and hitting in Brooklyn for the Cyclones is not easy. He's a guy who could be a top 50 by the end of the season. If you see the name Wilmer Flores and it looks familiar, it should. This is San Francisco Giants third baseman Wilmer Flores' brother, Wilmer Flores, and he has flown up lists. A really good left-handed pitching prospect who, if he continues to pitch this well, might see some time maybe for the Tigers at the major league level. Why not? Brock Porter, a guy who could have been a top 10 pick in the draft, fell to the third round, I believe. Third or fourth round? What was it? Fourth round. Okay. Fourth round because of money issues, but the Rangers paid him and he's there. I agree, he's top 100. Miguel Bleis is an international prospect from, I believe, 2 classes ago, who has looked really good, improved every single year. He's a big kid, 6'3", 170, only 18 years old. Haven't seen him play above rookie ball yet, so there's a little bit of kitty gloves on him, but once he starts to perform, I'll be excited because I got some cards of his. Brendan Davis fell to 92, and it makes sense. He was hurt last year, a back injury, did not look good in the games that he did play. I think it's safe to say that he probably still is top 100, but this is a big year for him. He's 23 years old. Let's see what he's got. Alec Burleson is not a guy that's going to ever really make you go, wow, like this dude's amazing, should be a top 10 prospect, but he gets on base. He's got a good bat. He's a good hitter. He's an okay athlete. He's just kind of a man without a position, which is why he drops down here, but he will make an impact for the Cardinals this year at the major league level. Joey Weimer at number 90. If you've been on this channel for a while, seeing me talk about prospects, I love Joey Weimer. He's one of my favorite prospects. Was big on him in the draft back in 2020, taken out of the University of Cincinnati. Hits the ball hard, throws hard, runs fast, does those 3 things really well. Just needs to hit the ball a little more consistently. Joey Weimer is one of the more interesting prospects for sure in baseball. Zach Neto at number 89 makes sense. First round pick by the Angels, shortstop out of Campbell, very good player. Love me some Emmanuel Rodriguez. Love that he's getting some hype here at number 88 on my card channel. I talked about him last year. Big potential out of Emmanuel Rodriguez. He's got pop, he's got good plate discipline, and he flies. Kevin Alcantara came from the Yankees to the Cubs in the Anthony Rizzo trade. He's 6'6", has crazy potential, and he's just really starting to grow into that 6'6" body. Incredibly high ceiling on this kid. Ceddanne Rafaela for the Red Sox, very good prospect. Tons of speed, little pop in that bat, all-around good player. Might be able to play some center field and shortstop, which is always really cool. Definitely top 100. Oscar Colas, a name you might be familiar with, played in Japan, a Cuban defector, was actually a two-way player, could throw 100 miles an hour left-handed. He's got incredible tools, tore up AA last year. I think you're going to see him at the major league level at some point, although it does look like he's only hitting. Drew Romo would be the first guy that I probably would not have on my top 100. Defensively, he's one of the better defensive catching prospects in baseball, no doubt. At the plate, we still have not seen that much out of him, but he has battled some inconsistencies with injury. Just wouldn't be top 100 in my eyes. Jace Young, first round pick by the Tigers. Pipeline tends to favor first round picks in these top 100 prospect rankings to start the year, and then based on how they perform, they move them up and down. You'll see more as we get going. Chase DeLauder at 82, one of my favorite prospects out of the 2022 MLB draft. Out of James Madison, the dude absolutely mashes. He's got crazy potential. Just gotta stay healthy. Andy Pages back on the list. Crazy power, but the contact skills scaring us a little bit, which is why he hasn't really jumped up as much as you'd hoped. Heston Kjerstad, second overall pick back in 2020, was dealing with some heart issues, which were really scary. Glad to see him healthy. Playing last year, looked good. Definitely deserves to be on here. Give him benefit of the doubt, especially with what he's gone through. Gordon Graceffo has some crazy stuff. Him and Tink Hence, I'm just going to kind of lump together because they're 77 and 79 for the Cardinals. Both really good pitching prospects who have been flying up. Gordon Graceffo Cepho might be a guy who, if he continues to pitch as well as he has, maybe get a look this year at the major league level. Tin Kent is still a little bit further away, only threw 50 innings last year, but both of them got crazy good stuff. Jack Leiter, might be familiar with that name, first round pick by the Rangers out of Vandy, did not look good in Double-A last year, but I believe in Jack Leiter. He's too good to be bad, so I think that's just a little bit of him being maybe aggressively put in Double-A, which I thought was a good idea. Ken Waldichuk traded from the Yankees to the A's in the Frankie Montas trade. He's going to drop off this list, not because he's not good, but because he's going to be at the major league level pitching every day. Very good stuff from the left-handed side. Brian Rocchio, I'm not going to lie, I don't understand why he's on this list. To me, not a top 100 prospect. His numbers to me have never really stood out too much. He's definitely got some pop in the bat. He's got a good glove. He's probably going to be a very solid major league player. Just for me, I don't know. Brian Rocchio is boring to me. Sorry, Brian, if you're watching this. You're a very good player. Just, I don't know. I don't know why I don't like you that much. Jordan Westburg at 74 out of Mississippi State. He might be the shortstop at some point for the Orioles this season. Very, very good bat. Kyle Manzardo raked. I mean, this dude raked. Look at the numbers he's put up in the minors. In 106 games, he has a 1043 OPS with 24 homers and 31 doubles. Yeah, Kyle Manzardo just mashes. I wouldn't be shocked if the Rays get him up at some point this year to play first base. Carson Williams, another really good Rays prospect, strong up the middle first round pick back in 2021. Played really well last year. Luis Angel. Luis Angel Acuna made it. I'm surprised. I don't have him as a top 100 prospect in my eyes. I think the name might be giving him a little more hype than his numbers have shown. Obviously, the talent is there, but you got to perform a little bit better in my eyes for a guy like Luis Angel Acuna to get in the top 70 here. So I don't think he's a top 100 in my eyes, but we'll see. Ryan Pepio will probably drop off this list. He's going to get some time, I would assume, with the Dodgers this year. Really, really good changeup and good fastball. Working on that third pitch a little bit. Cam Collier was one of my favorite prospects out of the draft. Dropped a bit because of money. They didn't know if he was going to take it or not. I think he's going to have a phenomenal career in Cincinnati whenever he does make it to the major league level. Crazy, crazy potential out of Cam Collier. Adele Amador is a guy who could kind of look like Ezequiel Tovar possibly did last year. A little bit more under the radar shortstop prospect, although he's getting top 100 love here. Very good, just very good player overall. Max Meyer, we know about him with the Marlins. I believe he had Tommy John though, didn't he? Yeah, he got Tommy John, so I mean, he's not really going to move probably on this list. Owen White, I think Owen White probably pitches at the major league level this year. He looked really, really solid. Got to see him pitch in the fall league as well and looked strong when he was there. Tanner Bibby is a guy that all the pitching guys are going crazy over. They love the stuff that Tanner Bibby has shown thus far, and he looked great in his first full season in the minors. Bo Naylor. I think Bo Naylor's going to get some legit playing time in Cleveland this year at the catcher position. Brother of Josh, extremely talented. Jackson Jobe looked fine in his first minor league season. He obviously still has that wipeout slider that gets you really excited, and he throws in the upper 90s. I'm a big Jobe guy. Gavin Cross looked great in his first little half season in minor league baseball. First round pick out of Virginia Tech by the Royals, looked awesome. Jacob Berry, on the other hand, getting ranked ahead of him doesn't make sense to me. I honestly don't think Jacob Berry's a top 100 prospect right now because he's a bit of a man without a position, and we did not see him hit well. Granted, extremely small sample, 37 games, did not hit well, and he was a great hitter in college, but it's hard to project what Jacob Berry's going to look like right now, in my opinion. Quinn Priester probably makes the MLB roster at some point for the Pirates this year. They could always use more pitching. He's been solid throughout his entire minor league career. Good stuff. I believe this guy's name is pronounced Brandon Pfaadt. Pfaadt, I believe. He looks really good. The prospect guys are going crazy over Brandon Pfaadt as a guy to maybe keep on your fantasy baseball team as a little bit of a stash. Good fastball, good slider, good changeup. Working on that curveball a little bit for sure. If you know me, I've loved Cade Cavalli. I still believe in his stuff. He did have some shoulder issues towards the end of the year, which shut him down. He should be in the rotation for the Nationals this year. He 100% should be. Really, really good pitcher out of Oklahoma from the 2020 draft. Henry Davis was called the most overrated prospect in baseball. I get it, but I also don't, because Henry Davis is still a friggin' beast. He only gets overrated because the people who make these lists overrated him, so it was annoying to see that MLB Pipeline even put that out there because they would be the ones that were overrating him then. Henry Davis still mashes. The dude had an 852 OPS last year in the minors. Like, yeah, did he struggle at Double-A a little bit? For sure. But he played 31 games. I don't know. I feel like the Henry Davis, I don't want to say hate, because I don't think anybody hates him, but I feel like the Henry Davis discourse is a little overblown. And to be fair, I think it's partially because Endy Rodriguez has looked so good. Endy Rodriguez came over to the Pirates in the trade that sent Musgrove to the Padres. He actually came from the Mets organization because they took Joey Lucchesi from the Padres. It was a whole thing, but he came from the Mets, and it hurts me because Endy Rodriguez has been one of my favorite prospects for the last few years now. This dude is a friggin' player. He can rake with the best of them. Incredibly good athlete. I mean, he might play second base. They need to find a way to get his bat and arm into the lineup somehow. Endy is so good. I'm so glad I invested in his cards. A couple Dodgers prospects here with Gavin Stone and Michael Busch. Both will get time at the major league level this year. Gavin Gavin Stone, really, really good pitcher. Exciting stuff out of his arm. And Michael Busch is kind of the new utility guy for the Dodgers. That's probably going to be annoyingly good. Logan O'Hoppe, I still don't know how to pronounce his name. My mind's in a blender when it comes to him. One of the better catching prospects. It sounds like he's going to start the year in AAA, though, which is a little weird. I would start him at the major league level. I think he's ready. Oswald Peraza should be the opening day starter at shortstop for the Yankees. Going to drop off this list. Looked really good in the small sample last year. All around, good shortstop, good player. George Valera, I love George Valera. The dude just has good plate discipline. Is an all-around good player. I don't know what his ceiling looks like, but yeah, 50 makes sense. Shocked to see Mason Wynn at 50. I thought Mason Wynn would be a little bit higher with the year he had, but I guess he slowed down a little bit. I don't know. Mason Wynn's still awesome. He throws like 100 from shortstop. He was a two-way player, only going to hit now, and hits pretty well. Harry Ford, a guy from the 2021 draft that people were going crazy about, and you're starting to see his rise here. Going to play for Team Britain in the World Baseball Classic. Keep an eye out for him. Harry Ford is one of the more exciting young prospects, a catcher who could basically play anywhere. Mick Abel, 2020 draft, looked good for the Phillies, part of that strong 1-2 with Andrew Painter, who we'll talk about later. Jason Dominguez back in the top 100, although maybe Pipeline has always had him in the top 100 in his Baseball America and Fangraphs, who didn't love him. But Dominguez looked really good last year. I think he played in the Fall League too. I don't remember how he performed. Struggled at AA without a doubt, but he's still incredibly young. He's 19. It's a roller coaster of what people think Dominguez is going to look like. I still don't really know. I'm definitely not sold on him being a star, and I'm definitely not sold on him being a bust. Elijah Green at 46. What was he? Number 4 or 5 overall this year in the draft. Just crazy high ceiling potential. The dude is an absolute huge human. 6'3", 225 at 19 years old. The power, the run, the arm, the fielding, extremely high grades. Extremely good tools. Just got to hit consistently, and we'll see how he does. Looked very good, though, in 12 games in rookie ball. Royce Lewis will drop off this list. Probably going to get a decent bit of time at the major league level this year. Looked great in the 12 games. He just can't stay away from injuries. If he can stay healthy, Royce Lewis, the guy who was once considered, I think, to be a bust because he was number 1 overall pick in 2017, actually might make an impact with the Twins this year. He looks good. Edwin Arroyo was in that Luis Castillo trade. He's a really cool shortstop. Again, I just want to say this because every time I talk about him, I think it's interesting. He's a switch thrower. I don't know what it does for him at shortstop, but he can throw with both his right and left hand as well as switch hit. The dude's just straight up ambidextrous, and he tore up the minors last year. I think he could be like a top 20 prospect by the year's end. Hunter Brown with the Astros, saw a little bit of him in the postseason towards the end of the year. Big arm, great stuff with the Astros. Going to be another one of these new young arms that is incredible for them, I'm sure. Gavin Williams, a lot of people's favorite pitching prospect in minor league baseball. Just mega arm out of ECU, back in 2021. I mean, the dude throws 95, 100 miles an hour with a wipeout curveball, slider, and changeup. Just all around really good. And look at the numbers he put up. 25 starts, a 196 in 115 innings. 70 innings in AA. He might get a chance at the major league level this year if the Guardians need him. Evan Carter, the master of all. The dude has just performed every year at the minor league level. Is he going to hit 35, 40 home runs? No, but he's going to be an all-around really good player. I think it's very similar to what we see out of Colton Cowser. A little more pop out of Cowser. A little more pop, maybe a little less of the other tools, but Colton Cowser is going to be the future, I don't want to say center fielder guaranteed, but a future outfielder for this Baltimore Orioles team. Maybe as soon as this upcoming year if he tears it up that much. Orioles farm system so loaded. I always gave Colton Cowser the Christian Yelich comp, just with a little more power. So the MVP Christian Yelich, not the Marlins Christian Yelich. Tyler Soderstrom at 39. He started the year slow, got hot towards the end. Very good hitter. It looks like he's going to play first base. Colson Montgomery at 38. I love this one. Big Colson Montgomery guy. Again, a dude who projects really well. 6'4", 205 pounds with a sweet left-handed stroke. And he can play shortstop. I thought he was going to be a third baseman. Looks like he could play shortstop. Miguel Vargas going to drop off this list. Very well could be the starting third baseman for the Dodgers this year. Third base, first base, outfield. They're trying to find anywhere to put him because his bat's very good. Ooh, my boy Kevin Parada. Yes, city boy himself. Kevin Parada making it at number 36. One of the top catching prospects, seemingly. Mashed at Georgia Tech, mashed last year in the minors. Everybody loves his bat, and you'll worry about where you play him later. RH3, Robert Hassel III, if you guys know from the draft days, he was the guy that I thought was one of the better prospects in the draft. Went 8th overall, went to the Nationals in the Juan Soto trade to tell you how good he is. I think people are a little bit down on him because the power potential seems like it's not as high as it once was, and he definitely struggled once he went to the Nationals, but I think RH3 is going to be fine. A guy, though, who could drop quite a bit if he performs poorly again. but I like RH3. Josh Young, you expect him to be playing for the Rangers this year, and very well. He's a good player. We've talked about him a lot. Curtis Mead, the Rays are dying to bring this guy up at some point. They're just finding every excuse not to because they're the Rays and they don't ever want to start anyone's clock before they're 100% ready. But Curtis Mead's ready. Australian, by the way, can play every single position and he has a great bat. Ricky Tiedemann, one of the sneaky picks from the 2021 draft, 3rd round pick, and he had a great first season in minor league baseball, a 2.17 ERA. The stuff looked really good. I believe he played in the Futures game as well. Great changeup, good slider, good fastball, 3 good pitches from Ricky Tiedemann. Tiedemann? I actually don't know how to pronounce his last name. I should probably learn. Brooks Lee, 1st round pick last year, tore up the minors, went right to AA, I believe, at one point, and he continued to play really well. Sal Frelick at 30. Wow, Sal Frelick. Okay, I mean, listen, I was a Sal Frelick hater, and he's proved me wrong massively. The reason I was a hater is he just reminds me of Brett Gardner, and to me, that's not a 1st round pick, but Sal Frelick has just played really well, and he's showing more pop than I expected. 11 home runs last year definitely changes my perspective on Sal Frelick. If he's got like 15 to 20 home run pop, I get the hype for sure, because his bat-to-ball skills are phenomenal, and he's a great outfielder. Noelvi Marte here at number 29. Very good. Obviously part of the Luis Castillo trade as well. Might end up being a 3rd baseman, but definitely a good player. This one's going to hurt. PCA, 28. Could honestly be a top 20 prospect. That wouldn't be crazy at all. Came over to the Cubs in the Javi Baez trade, and PCA's looked awesome. He is a guy who could be a top 10 prospect by the end of the year, without a doubt. Zach Veen, him and Robert Hassel always bunched together. He's kind of separated himself a little bit because he's shown a little more pop than Robert Hassel has, and he did perform well last year. Zach Veen, the AA bump hurt him, but he's still so young at 21. I expect him to be fine this upcoming season. I love his swing. It's a pretty swing. Termarr Johnson, 1st round pick from the Pirates. The dude mashes, he mashes. And I love a guy that plays with a chip on his shoulder, and Termarr definitely does. I mean, when he dropped in the draft, although he dropped what? He dropped to 4. He says he's going to remember all the teams that basically passed up on him, but he's happy to be a Pirate, and I'm happy he's here in the top 25-ish. Ezequiel Tovar should be the everyday shortstop for the Rockies. Just great bat-to-ball skills, a really good hitter with a solid glove at shortstop. Bobby Miller, another guy I expect to be at the major league level at some point with the Dodgers. Just an absolute sick arm, throws 100, really good stuff. Tristan Casas surely has to be the 1st baseman to start the year for the Red Sox. I mean, how much longer are they going to wait? He showed some sparks last year at the major league level. Incredible eye, crazy power. The dude's got legs for days. I mean, his legs go up to here on him. Tristan Casas, he's a beast. Marco Luciano, I think his ceiling has dropped a little bit. I don't think he's getting that like generational type hype anymore, but still showing good stuff. Again, I don't know if he can play shortstop. I think he might be more of a 3rd baseman, but still a very good prospect. Brett Beatty, my boy, number 21, just missing on the top 20. Makes sense. He's going to be at the major league level or at least AAA to start the year. He's major league ready. Showed some good sparks last year. 3rd base defense is a bit of a question mark. Might become more of an outfielder, but he can definitely swing it. Taj Bradley, one of the new Rays pitchers. You're going to see him kind of take that McClanahan, Boz, Patino step that you've seen all these guys take, where he's going to throw a few innings this year at the major league level, then build up to more and more, maybe use as a reliever more so. Taj Bradley's really talented. Jackson Merrill, a little bit of an under-the-radar 1st round pick back in 2021 by the Padres, but boy, did they hit a home run, we think. He has looked awesome. The pop looks pretty solid for a 19-year-old kid. Just all around looks like a very good player. Top 20 is very aggressive, but everybody in the prospect world is very hyped on Jackson Merrill. Kyle Harrison at 18 struggled a little bit with the fastball. People were hitting it, but the breaking balls, the off speeds are disgusting. Definitely top 20. Good left-handed pitching prospect. James Wood, go back to my video talking about the best picks not from the 1st round. I was all over James Wood when the Padres took him. James Wood is that dude, 6'7", 240, and he crushes baseballs. He destroys them, and he's a sick athlete. Probably has the chance to maybe be one of the best prospects in baseball by year's end. Daniel Espino has sick stuff. He's built his way up to become one of the best pitching prospects. I mean, read this. Espino arrived with a mid-80s fastball when he moved to Georgia his sophomore year of high school, and now he has an 80-grade fastball. Didn't get to pitch a lot last year, but this season should be a big one for Espino. Drew Jones didn't get to play, injury, but we know about Drew Jones. Andrew Jones' kid, 5-tool player, generational type talent. Incredibly good. Diego Cartaya, a very good catching prospect for the Dodgers. This makes sense. Everybody loves him. He's a good ball player. Yuri Perez could be considered the best pitching prospect in minor league baseball. Definitely the best prospect in the Marlins system. He's only 19 years old, 6'8", and just look at the numbers he's been able to put up. He got to AA last year, which is where he pitched the majority of it. And as an 18, 19-year-old to hold his own and strike out 106 batters in 75 innings while not walking many guys, yeah, Yuri Perez is that ace. He's going to be that guy. Jackson Holliday, number 1 overall pick from last year's draft. Makes sense. He had a very, very good little sample in rookie ball last year with the Orioles. Got to A-ball and played pretty well too. I did not realize he got to A-ball. Jackson Holliday, Matt Holliday's kid, very talented. Probably the future shortstop of the Orioles. Speaking of future shortstops, Jordan Lawler. I love to see that he's just around this top 10 rating range because he will be top 10 by the end of the year. The Diamondback system's absolutely loaded, and just look at the year Jordan Lawler had. 100 games, 16 homers, a 910 OPS. He played all the way up to Double-A. Jordan Lawler has a potential to be the number one prospect at the end of the year as well. Elly De La Cruz. There's some real helium with Elly De La Cruz here at 10. Had a crazy year last year. 28 homers, 31 doubles, 47 stolen bases. There are concerns about his strikeout rate, but I don't care. When you're Elly De La Cruz, who's 6'5", 200, switch hitter who has power and speed and can play shortstop or third base, yeah, top 10 prospect all day. Shout out to my boy James. He knew about this guy way before anybody. He called it. Marcelo Meyer at 9 is a guy who has some Marcelo Meyer cards. Very happy to see it. He's Corey Seager. He's Corey Seager. That's what I'm going to keep saying forever, with probably a little bit better glove, a little less power, but he's Corey Seager. Jackson Chourio. He was the hot name last year. The dude went from nobody to one of the best prospects in baseball, and for a good reason. He went from A-ball all the way to Double-A. Granted, didn't play well at Double-A, but just tore up the minor leagues last year. Pop, speed, everything that you'd want out of a prospect. Jackson Chourio has got it. His hype is similar to Vlad Jr.'s and Wander Franco, I've been told, and those are two of the biggest hype prospects we've ever had. Grayson Rodriguez. Hopefully he's healthy this year. He has the chance to be a lights-out ace for the Orioles this season. Just let him get healthy, let him get ready, and he could just be absolutely insane. Grayson Rodriguez is awesome. Definitely the best pitching prospect in baseball, but he's going to fall off that list. Andrew Painter also makes sense. If you go back to my videos talking about 2021 draft, I loved Andrew Painter. I didn't understand why he wasn't getting more hype. You could see why. He's 6'7", 215, has incredible mechanics, which is so hard to just have for a guy who's this big, and every single pitch of his is plus. He's so good. He was dominant last year. I mean, look at these numbers. And I hate to say because he's a Philly, but a 1.56 last year as what? An 18, 19-year-old is just disgusting. He pitched well in Double-A too. Andrew Painter, it's going to make it real easy for the Phillies to continue to stay good. Anthony Volpe at number 5 makes sense. I mean, Yankee prospect, shortstop of the future, maybe more so second base, probably, but he can swing and he's looked really good. Jordan Walker at number 4. Jordan Walker is going to get called up to the major leagues at some point, have a chance to win Rookie of the Year. He has that incredibly good talent that you want to see out of these first-round picks that you have. Got him back in 2020. Exit velos are crazy on this kid. They'll find a spot for him. At number 3, my boy Francisco Alvarez. You guys know I love him. I love El Troll. I mean, he's got crazy pop. He has to work on the catching a little bit for sure, but in the small sample we saw at the major league level last year, you understand the hype. He's just got crazy hit potential. Could maybe be that next Mike Piazza type catcher in Major League Baseball, especially with the Mets connection. And that makes me excited. Number 2, Corbin Carroll. I mean, a lot of these guys you're going to see drop off in the top 10, honestly. You're going to look at like Marcelo Meyer, Jackson Chourio, maybe Painter as guys that will hang around for that new number 1. Corbin Carroll's got a chance to win Rookie of the Year. He looked awesome last year when he got called up. Just a 5-tool player, and the pop came around. Corbin Carroll is a freak. He's awesome. And number 1, Gunnar Henderson. Looks like he's going to be playing third base every day for the Orioles this upcoming season. Gunnar Henderson's awesome. He's got the flow. He's got the bat. He's got the arm. He does everything really well. Makes sense as the number 1 prospect in baseball. Again, we'll drop off this quickly because he's going to play a lot, but Gunnar Henderson is a very good player. All these guys, they're all top 10 prospects, but for the majority of them, they all have a chance to win Rookie of the Year this upcoming season. They're that good. I'd love to know what you guys think about this top 100 list down in the comment section below. Who do you think got snubbed? Who do you think got overrated? Let's have a conversation and talk. Remember to drop a like on the video if you did enjoy it, as well as subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of the content coming at you. Follow me on all my social media at GiraffeNeckMarc. Links are in description. Thank you guys so much for watching. You know the drill from here on out. This will be my top 50 player rankings for the 2023 season if you have not yet seen them. And this will be my hot take video that went up this past weekend, even though it's a little dated, but go check it out. It's a good one. It's good hot takes from you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you all tomorrow for another video. Bye.